Hey guys, Layles here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am building a small complex on a lot in Newcrest, and what I ended up doing was putting together a restaurant, a small boutique, and then a library cafe type duo. And besides that, I also kind of wanted to talk about some news that came out today. So it came out, or at least I noticed it today. It might have come out later. I'm looking it up here. But EA's president basically released some news on the next Sims game that they're currently working on. And the general consensus that a lot of people are having is that this is The Sims 5 he's talking about, which, The Sims 4 has had a longer lifespan than other games, but they've not said much about Sims 5. There was a little bit of news a while ago where EA had been looking for some people to help develop a game, and that is probably the game that they are now talking about. They're actually setting up a headquarters in Texas, which is going to definitely then be working on something very different than what the Sims 4 team has been working on in California. So it's interesting to hear some of this news, but I do have a lot of thoughts about it. So EA's president says, as Maxis continues to think about The Sims for a new generation, across platforms in a cloud-enabled world, you should imagine that, while we will always stay true to our inspiration, escape, creation, and self-improvement motivations, that this notion of social interactions and competition, like the kind of things that were actually present in The Sims Online many, many years ago, that they will start to become part of the ongoing Sims experience in the years to come. And he continues to basically say he's excited. So there's a lot of, fluff in that statement. But basically, there's some hinting that The Sims 5, if this is The Sims 5, or at least this game that they're working on that will be a Sims game, is going to have some type of online capability, whether the full game itself is online, or I guess like how The Sims 4 is, where there's the online component with the gallery, which it sounds like they're really aiming to go full online. And I have thoughts. I'm a little worried. I really am worried. So let's look at the track record that EA has had with making online games. So I don't know the exact order. I know the first one and the last one. The first one was The Sims Online, which I never played, so I can't, give any critique on that. And then the two middle ones, I don't know which came first. There was Sims Free Play, which I had that app for a while, and I ended up deleting it because, it was a mobile app, and it had all the issues that mobile apps tend to have to me. I don't like mobile games. The other mobile app which was released, which is the most recent one, is The Sims Mobile, which I do think I prefer that one to Sims Free Play. I had it longer on my phone than I had Sims Free Play. And, the big thing with mobile apps, which is what a full online game currently that The Sims has had looks like. Besides, I guess, this other one that I'll mention that everyone forgets about, and rightfully so. So, The Sims Free Play, The Sims Mobile, there's a lot of real-time thing. Yes, you can spend money to make the game clock travel faster, to get things done faster, so you can spend more time playing, but it's a lot of it's microtransactions, and that is ultimately like a big not trash, but it is trash. It is very much trash. It's a cash grab, and I am not a cash grab fan. I graduated from college not that long ago. I'm currently trying to get into a space where I can repay back my student loans, and that's just not something I need in my life. It really is not. It's not something many people need in their lives, if we're being totally honest. So I really hope that this is not what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm sure with a full game, I guess, like, my hope with a full game would be that they wouldn't have something that's microtransactional. Of course, they've done that with Sims 3 from what I've heard. And that's hearsay to me because I never fully played The Sims 3. I mean, I kind of did eventually. I'll talk about that in a little bit if you want. Or I'll talk about that in the future if anyone wants me to. So, the other online Sims variant was the trash Facebook Sims, The Sims Social, which I played and tried when it came out because I am a Sims junkie. And my friends who did not have any Sims game thought it was the best thing in the world. But me, who have been exposed to The Sims as a franchise since I was in 4th grade, it was not really anything I would have been interested in. I play Sims for a mixture of building and creating Sims characters, as well as for the aspect of trying to do storytelling. And, I like the idea of playing a legacy family, even though I've never actually done the legacy challenge the whole way through. I'm just more interested in something that's going to have a lot of substantial weight to characters. And that's something, I want to see that go over into The Sims 5 whenever it's finally done. It's something I miss from previous Sims games, incarnations, is the whole fact that the pre-made Sims had a lot of storytelling elements built into them. And you could mess with that or disregard it as much as you wanted to. You could make it completely different. And it was still fine. But for those of us who liked having this pre-made drama, it was something that was interesting to mess with. So, I'd like to see that come back. Now, going back to this whole, online idea, I'm not exactly opposed to it, I think, in reality. I think that there's some elements of that are favorable. Like, a lot of people want to be able to have people just visit their creations. And, 1 minute. Sorry, excuse me. I might sneeze again because I always sneeze 2 or 3 times in a row. And if I don't, then praise Jesus. But, a lot of people want to have this experience where you can just go visit lots. And, my one question with that would be, well, we have pack-specific content, and I'm sure that for The Sims 5, it's going to have pack-specific content as during its duration, if this is for The Sims 5, I'm kind of the opinion that it might not be a wise thing, or that it's not going to pan out that way. I guess you would just see the content that you don't own, and you'd have to, you get to see it, you just can't touch it, and that's going to make you want to buy it more. And I'm not very keen on that idea, I guess, either. So, I really honestly think that if this is what they're wanting to do with The Sims 5, which it sounds like, then it needs a little bit of, they're going to need to have some answers to these types of questions, because as it stands with what we have had in precedence, it doesn't work. Now, yes, there are online games that are wonderful. None of them are simulation games. I like Terra. I'm not gonna lie. I like Terra. And that's basically like World of Warcraft. So, that's a different type of dealio there. It's not something where you create your own storyline and people could potentially, mess with that. It's something where you have a story set, and you go and you follow the storyline and complete quests and basically become the hero, because that's all you can choose to be, I guess. Well, you can choose what occupation as a hero, but you're still gonna be a hero. That's how it works. So unless, like, I don't know, unless, like, they're hoping that if they create something with open world with everyone able to go play and interact with each other, and that we'll all just figure out how we're not going to mess with each other's storylines, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I trust people enough to, I think you guys get what I'm saying. Because I've just always visioned The Sims as a one-player game. Like, I like the community element that has been involved within The Sims. Like, I like how they incorporated the gallery. I like the custom content creators and how EA has always supported the idea of custom content creators, especially with previous incarnations on their official websites. Like, that was a place to go find custom content and download it. And now there's big, huge custom content websites, you know, thanks to that type of encouragement and initiative. So there's a lot of things there that, you know, it makes me, like, happy about those aspects about having a community. But I don't know that I want someone coming in and, like, messing with my storyline that I'm playing through, or messing with something that I came up with. Yes, having more chefs in the kitchen might make it where you get something you never knew you needed, but there is a such thing as having too many chefs in the kitchen, you know. So, like, that's kind of my thought process. For The Sims 5, I think my honest hope is that they can take some of these things that they have ventured in with The Sims 4 and expand on them, because a lot of Sims 4 packs, honestly, they have base good ideas, but then just not a lot of content, and you're paying an arm and a leg for minimal content. Now, that isn't to say that there isn't well thought out packs. I think that Discover University was well thought out. I think that Get Together had a lot of items. I think that Parenthood was very well thought out. I think that the way that they've been doing Occult has been hit or miss. Vampires was, like, a great Occult extension that had been so well thought out comparatively. And I want to see the Sims team going into The Sims 5, you know, really thinking about how can I beef up this content to make it be its best potential, you know. So that's what I really want. I have opinions about going back to things from other games, and I mean, I could do an entire video just talking about my opinions on The Sims, and that's not what I want to fill this video in, even though, like, over halfway of this video has been me talking about news from The Sims 5. So, to kind of explain this build, I've been going back and forth with building a new crest. I didn't build it fully when it came out, like every other person in the world, and partially because I just never wanted to live in New Crest. I didn't see the point in it. So sometimes when I want to build and I just want to play with finding out, like, how I can make new community lots, I will build a New Crest. So this was just a little trifecta, I guess I would say, of 3 different shops and community-esque lots kind of jam-packed into one. I put it under a restaurant just so that that restaurant would be usable as a restaurant, and the fact that you could still use, you know, you could still really go in and use a cafe with a restaurant. You could still go and read books with it being a restaurant. You don't have to check in and get a table. So I thought it was a nice way to put that all together in a grouping. So you'll notice that I do build on a second floor, and I don't furnish it at all. I did that primarily to match the aesthetic of the, fake buildings across the street. I wanted to make it look like it fit into that little space in Newcrest. So you'll see above, this was on the Midtown Meadows lot. I named this, I think I call it Newcrest Center, because I was thinking this would be like a nice little, if you had like a main area in town, really, to describe it that way. And I put a little garden in the back. If you noticed across the street from it in the other lot, I actually have a little cafe I built a while ago. It's on my gallery as well. I think it's called the Corner Cafe. And it's a really nice build. It's probably one of my favorite builds I've ever really done, actually. And I think that one only uses Get Together, Get to Work, and maybe one other pack. I can't quite remember. It's probably Romantic Garden stuff, because I use that for a lot of landscaping. So I really thought that this turned out nice in the end. I mean, we're a little bit a ways from that yet. But I did like how this looked. So with the top floor, since I didn't do anything, it was really just for aesthetic purposes. I suppose if you really like to do some type of owning a restaurant or owning a business, this would be a nice candidate for doing that. And then you could renovate the top floor areas into living space and then just stay on the lot. I'm not really a big fan of that type of gameplay, specifically just because I don't like having, I get why people, and this is my reasoning of why I don't play. The reason I don't play that type of gameplay is I don't like going back and forth between lots all the time, and that's why a lot of people, live on that lot anyways. But I feel like I want to be as realistic as unrealistically I can be on The Sims 4 and in Sims in general. So that was something I usually just draw the line with, even though a lot of people do realistically live in the same building as their business. That was probably part of why with The Sims 2 I thought Open for Business was a great expansion pack in The Sims 2 days. And, I think it is nice that The Sims 4 does have an element of that. I don't know if I really don't think The Sims 3 had anything like that. And, obviously, if you're hearing me talk, I did not play The Sims 3 much at all. I loved The Sims 2 so much, and when The Sims 3 came out, the one other person I really talked to that played Sims 2 at the time, she bought Sims 3 and then said that after she downloaded it from her disc, basically every time she tried to play Sims 2, her game would crash. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy Sims 3 if it's gonna do that, because by that point, I'd invested a lot of, or I guess because I was a kid, my dad had invested a lot of money into helping me grow my Sims 2 collection, which I own most of the packs, not all of them. And I did not download when they had it for free because I was very clueless and did not realize that was going on. So, yeah. And I have thoughts on The Sims 3. I have played it in more recent years. I bought it from Steam with Christmas money when it was on sale with, I think I got the Pets and Seasons expansions because those are ones I typically like for a full gameplay. So, I'm not a fan of The Sims 3, I guess, is what I'm saying, boiling down to. There were just a lot of aspects that made me get very stressed. As I said, I can talk about all my opinions on another video. So, yeah. See, this is just me doing finishing touches, and I really do think already at this point I was already like, this is a good build. I wanted to make the boutique area just look as really nice as possible, because it's not, obviously, it can't really work as a completely, like, usable boutique, because there's a restaurant, and you can't really buy clothes from any retail store, pretty sure, in Sims 4. I mean, it wouldn't make sense because you can already own everything anyways in CAS when you go and change clothes. So I just thought it would look really nice, especially with the aesthetic of this area in New Crest. So yeah, this, as with everything, will be on my gallery page. This does include CC from one CC pack, really nice one. I will be linking that in the description box, and you could download that if you haven't already, because that was really well, like, announced by different simmers. So yeah, I hope y'all are having a great day, and I will see you around. Bye, everybody.